There's a full moon tonight, and the natives are restless. And I need to talk about this and one other before we start talking about the date rapes and the sexual harassment, because this is the prelude to that. This is information that we've gathered being bouncers over 25 years, and this chapter basically talks about behavior of human beings 2 or 3 days before the moon is full, in its apex, and 2 or 3 days after. What we found is, on those days, when the moon is full, if you remember science fiction or history, or what you're going to see is that scientists state that the tides in the seas and oceans can rise 1 to 2 feet higher when the moon is full. True? You guys can nod your head. True. Okay. Now, another science class says that our bodies are at least 80% water. So if the moon can affect the seas and the oceans across the world, they can affect us. The difference is, how are our personalities? How are we as human beings feeling on that particular day? If you're cool and mellow, no issue. But most people come to bars and clubs and restaurants and lounges because they're lonely, they've had a fight with their significant other, they've had a fight with parents, spouses, or at home, they've had issues with jobs, or they're not just happy with themselves. Any one of these 5. The rest can fall in a general category, but one of those 5 things is the reason why a person came. Oh, number 6. They're coming to support someone else. They're coming with baggage. So if they're feeling negative, it can be accelerated. God forbid that they have a drink, or 2, or 3, or 4, to try to bury that. How many people of you know folks like that? Not eggs. Know a whole bunch, huh?
Right here.
Those 2 right there? I'm not telling. So, you hear the excuse, I didn't mean to say that. It was the alcohol. It wasn't the alcohol. You meant to say that, and you didn't have enough intestinal fortitude to say it when you were sober. But now you're being coaxed with the, what's the name of that record? It was the alcohol? On the alcohol. Okay. Blame it on the alcohol. Now you get a little list. Your lips get a little looser. You get a little bolder. Under those times, 95% of the incidents that happened in this book, and there are over 172 anecdotes, happened under the full moon. 2 days before, under the full moon, 2 days after. To confirm this, what I did was, I spoke to my sister, Gloria, because she worked at Police Plaza. Central is, you call 911, and 911 feels the call up to Central. And Central dispatches Sergeant Gadget. That gentleman is one of the characters in the book.
And he does mean character.
Gloria gets those calls. She used to cover either the south part of Manhattan or the north part of Manhattan. So I asked her, not her being my sibling, but from a professional perspective, I said, tell me, Glo, all the issues that you have. When do you have the most? On the full moon. I have another older sister who's her last job was the auditor of health and hospital court. So all the city hospitals in the entire city, she used to audit them. But she was also an emergency room nurse. I asked her, I said, when do you have your most activity? Under the full moon. More people being cut, shot, broken bottles, disturbances, the whole gamut. I said, so. The third reference was I knew a paramedic who did Westchester County, just to make sure all my sampling wasn't from New York City. He said the same thing. He's picking up more people. So now what I shared with me is that It doesn't talk about area. It doesn't talk about race, creed, across all boards. At the club, police response, fire response, medical response from all aspects. So if we said it this way, can we be all wrong? I want you to think about this when you're going out. When we're bouncing, first thing I do is look up and say, is the moon full? Why? Because I'm expecting some negative behavior, more than I would see normally. Under those conditions, it means that if you curse me out one time, I might let you go, because it might not be you. 2, you're still going out.